What is up, people? Get this stuff off the screen. Let me get my microphone back on. You know how I do. Slow start. What up, Ted? Literally just got back from looking at stuff again. What kind of stuff you looking at? See if I can get some people up in here real quick. If not, that's all right. But let's see what I can do. And we'll go right in. You know how everything works with me. Slow and steady. Not really sure who's around at the moment. All right. Luckily, I finally got some of those clips taken care of. Realized let's make a show out of it. So we're gonna kind of ease into everything. All right. Gotta get the. Okay, so what we're gonna do is like I said, I got some clips, got some documents to show, but most importantly, I want to make sure we get a good build today. Rather than rush myself, I'm gonna take it slow, see where we go, break it up a little bit. For some of you here, you guys kind of already caught some of what I'm going to be talking about, but for the rest of you guys, it will be another eye opener. So we'll get this stuff set up, get some things going. If you guys saw the video yesterday from my my hike up by the what I consider the weather modding area. Got some more pics from the drive picking my son up, but I looked around and didn't really make much sense. So I didn't want to go at it. What's up, Billy? How you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. I know a lot of you guys got to see it already, but I'm gonna kind of go over my hike again, so that way, you know, anyone that does show up that wasn't here can see it again. I want to go over some of the things that's going on when it comes to this Earth X 2017. And like I said, I got some clips that we'll go ahead and show. I think I'm going to go ahead and show one of the Earth ones now. Make sure I have it set up and ready to go. Awesome, because I need a refresher myself. um, Let me see where everything is. Kind of just pulling everything up now, so once I get some people in here and ready to go, I'll be ready to go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go over my hike to the U.S. AF facilities that are up in the mountains, probably within 10 miles of me. So we'll start off. All right, here we go. All right, I got everything set up now. Now I know what I want to do. So we're gonna go ahead and see who's all in here. Hello, welcome, welcome. So everything you're listening to is getting kind of spooky now. Make sure you guys like and share for me. I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling up the stuff from my hike real quick. Just do another little recap. Don't mind that because that picture has nothing to do with it. All right, so like most of you guys know, I've figured out that I have a few of what I believe to be weather modification sites. So we'll go back to this, where the red dot is, or be rehashed. So better yet, right now I am staying in my little cozy hideaway in, well, that's the border, but I'm in this cozy little area somewhere around in here. Um, this red dot is a Joint Service System and FAA range radar. Um, their description of it is that basically all planes that fly within a 200-mile, 300-mile radius of that red dot, everything is taken in and put on the database. Um, Unfortunately for them, I decided to, obviously look into it a whole lot more. And it is, to me, what I believe is what I call a jumper. Um, when the NICSRADs and the electromagnetic frequencies are going out, I believe they jump them off this. Um, I mainly believe this because right about a mile to the north of this is a laser and directed energy facility. Um, their version of it is a long range. Well, see, this is where I got confused because I found two versions of what this thing is. The first one was their nice little what they want everyone to believe it is. They say they use this thing to shoot to the moon or any planet to verify distance, basically different than distance and atmosphere readings or some bullshit. The problem with this is there's only one laser system, and Arizona does the shot to the moon for the reflectors and everything. But when I went a little deeper to find out what a laser and directed energy facility does, this is what I found: a ranged weapon system that inflicts damage at a target by emission of highly focused potential applications of technology included anti-personnel weapons systems and missile defense. This one is located at Monument Park. So as far as I obviously can tell, this is one of the lasers that shoot into the atmosphere to change weather, make weather, you name it, it does it pretty much at this point. Let me go into my notes, get a little bit more detailed on it. Okay, I found the other one. Their version of it is it's used to record signals in deep space, which is, as far as I'm concerned, bullshit. But they do have other areas that do that. So let me go on to the next picture. So like I said, this is the facility that I was able to see and get up to at least. Down here is a gate, which you'll see in a moment. If you don't remember, it was definitely an eerie moment. There was a nice low roar the whole time I was there, kind of like a generator, but not an even. It was like a hum / roar. It was definitely an event. If you don't remember, I'll show you the video of the clouds and the weird things they were doing while I was up there. This is what I believe is an ELF transmitter tower. Basically, just helps the signal find its way. And if you weren't realizing it, and you do live in Southern California, they have quite a few of these joint surveillance systems. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that they also do surveillance and grab cell phone communications, FAA communications, but as far as I'm concerned, these are the same thing as a Doppler. Matter of fact, this thing does the exact same thing, or part of the same thing as this thing is described to have doing. If you don't know about this is they say this is a radar system, but we all pretty much come to the conclusion that this is a HAARP heater. We all know that they've been trying to figure out a way to get them out into the oceans, like for instance the Gulf. We have 2 of them off California. There is one in the Gulf, which happens to be 50 miles east, I believe, of where Hurricane Harvey started. Matter of fact, I would think that was the first one, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. So I was going to go ahead and look up and see what these were, and I remembered what they were from their version of it. So when they listen in space, like nonstop, all they're doing is listening, trying to get these frequencies and everything. What these are supposed to be are signal amplifiers. So when they send a signal out and it comes back to Earth, these things are supposed to catch it and amplify it. They used to have a few in the northern county, but the Naval Academy, the Navy facilities tore them down, said they didn't need them anymore. Yet that's probably 200 or 2 football fields worth of them right there. Let me go back to where I was supposed to be at. So like I said, it all started driving back to the house after taking my son to school. I noticed these pattern of clouds, pretty much a hole in the sky with wavy clouds. As you can see, everywhere else is clouded over. So it didn't really make too much sense to me. To my right, I was to my left over the facilities that I just showed you. And over to my right, I noticed this. This is actually much further east than it looks, but this is actually about 3 miles west of the amplifiers that I showed you guys earlier. And they just happened to be the only 2 weird looking spots in the sky that day. So I took pictures. Looking up the tower, as you can see, blue skies above it. Now, back towards me, the clouds are thin. And I'll go ahead and find that video real quick and show you that to you guys so you guys can get an idea of what I got to see with the video and recap everything again. Is it? Yeah, I know exactly where I gotta go. All right, let me go ahead and pop this up for you guys. You notice the clouds doing their nice little wavy dance, if you don't remember that. I'll go ahead and play it again just so you guys can, or you to see it again. And like I said, this area that it was happening in is actually a very windy place. Either the clouds are bunching up on one side or they're blowing out into the desert. So it definitely made it odd that these clouds were doing what I call the wave dance. I do have plans on going up there this weekend to find another path to get to the other facility, probably not so close, but from a different area. Again, I promise you, that is not me moving. All right. Like I said, that was just above this area, right above it, basically. So, in a nutshell, that was my wonderful trip to up the hill to the USAF facilities where their joint surveillance system is. Um, the laser and direct um, energy system is about a mile north of that, in the same area, but wasn't able to get through there because of the gates. Pretty sure you guys saw those. I'm not sure if I showed that. Um, which brings me to the next task. I think I'm going to go ahead and play a video. Um, Video will probably better describe the Earth X 2017 than I will. Um, I think it's about a. We'll go over that. It's a wonderful part that I always put stuff in here and I never can find it. It's amazing. Found a better way to run my videos. Only issues is now they disappear and go to their own little files. That is okay. So basically, the files did not break down like I needed them to. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them from another spot. And again, I'll say this is a video that basically describes and talks about the Earth X. Surprisingly, my computer is running pretty damn good right now, so let's keep hoping it stays that way. Okay, perfect. Almost got a little upset. Didn't know where they were. They didn't cut themselves down like they were supposed to. So I'm gonna have to watch it. I don't want to play the whole video through. Gotta get to it. And because I'm using the wonderful files, it wants to be slow now. Since that's already an issue, go ahead and use this one anyway. Okay. Sorry about the delay. But you know me. All right. What is it? Pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, it didn't go as I had planned when it comes to. I tried to cut up some clips of it, but it didn't really work. But I mean, it's no really big deal. It's gonna. Okay. So this clip will run. I'm gonna go ahead and run. It's gonna be about a 3-minute clip about EarthX. Get my speakers going. so you guys can actually hear it. All right, here we go.
X 2017 met, which was an organization, an international drill that had to do with long duration power outages, and FEMA was along one of the organizations, as I've gone over in previous videos. And this was done by the Electric Infrastructure Security Council, or the EIS Council. And as you can see right here, it stands for Emergency All Sector Response Transnational Hazard Exercise. And the mission is designed to improve community resilience to large scale, long duration power outages through multi-sector exercises. And that's very interesting and suspicious indeed, because did Houston and didn't the areas of Texas experience a power outage of close to 250,000 people? And it just so happened that this exercise came exactly a week after Taiwan experienced a power outage where millions were affected. No surprise or coincidence there either. Now, the actual drill place a week ago was only about 4 hours long, but they were also preparing for black sky hazards that were associated with subcontinent scale long duration power outages with cascading failure of all other increasingly interdependent infrastructures. And you're going to see exactly how they define a black sky event. Now, according to them, a black sky hazard is a catastrophic event that severely disrupts the normal functioning of our critical infrastructures in multiple regions for long durations. And didn't FEMA say they're going to be in Texas for years? Didn't they say they're going to stay there for a long time? Oh, very interesting and suspicious indeed. And some of the hazards that they also covered and talked about are man-made hazards, including an EMP, an IEMI that has to do with the power going out, cyber terrorism, because they want you to believe it's actual terrorism, then also coordinated physical assaults, and then natural hazards also, like seismic events that have to do with earthquakes, and none other than hurricanes and other severe weather events. And then a day later, Hurricane Harvey just so happens to make storm and gain traction on the Texas area. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think that's just mere surprise? You decide. And of course, this happened just a week before FEMA and your government organizations are preparing for what they call National Preparedness Month, which is the month of September. And this year's theme will be, quote, disasters don't plan ahead. You can.
Hey, folks. All right, that'll be good for right now. Like I said, I got to break it up into clips because it didn't work out like I wanted it to. So basically, that was explaining, Hurricane Harvey, August 23rd situation. It's actually, that was actually the lighter version of everything going on that I want to show you guys. So, what's up, Legendary? I think if you check your back chat, I put the link for the panel if you wanted to join. Any questions so far? I got all the answers, but I'm gonna go ahead and move along. I want to find the one that explains everything, but I didn't have time to pull them up, but I will go ahead and read them off for you guys. There's a couple other, there's 3 patents actually that I found that bring light to everything as well. There was a patent from March or we'll go with the first one. May 2003. Hurricane and tornado device, weather management usage, space-based power system. I'm sorry, I just ran through one, but it's hurricane and tornado device. My bad. Um, pull that up. Check that out and see what that is. Unfortunately, I got to do it by hand because if I put it up, it won't work. Hey, who cares, right? As long as we get to see it. Yeah, Billy. That's exactly what they're trying to state. Um, and the big part of it is they don't do anything. This Earth X Council, they're supposedly not to be doing anything unless it's 250,000 people are out of power at a time. So if they're there, then it's definitely big. All right, let me go ahead and pull this up. So this is the patent. So this is the patent for hurricane and tornado control. Go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. It was filed in 2001. Publication date was 2003. Method is disclosed for affecting the formation and or direction of a low atmospheric weather system. Audio generators are positioned to project sound waves toward a philosophical or spherical area of a wet weather storm. My apologies. Sound waves are generated at a frequency to affect the formation of the weather system in a manner to disrupt, enhance, or direct formation. The sound waves can also project in a manner to cause the system to produce rain. So this is definitely completely different from what we were reading before with the patents that were talking about dissipating them or adding stuff to them. This is 100% hurricane and tornado control, whether it be to lessen it, to strengthen it, to move it around, to do whatever they want to do with it. Some illustrations of how it works. Basically, as you can see, they can direct it by shooting the sounds off the sides of it, so that creates its path. They can direct the sound waves to create the actual vortex, showing it actually pushing it in its direction. And sound waves to make it actually start raining. So what it claims to do, a method of affecting formations and directions of a weather system compressing to lower a Locating a low atmospheric weather system having the potential to develop into a storm. Said weather system have wind rotating in observed direction and projecting a high decibel sound waves. Yeah, so it's basically the same thing I just read, and it's, I mean, can't say anything else about it. According to this, it says within sound waves are projected at a frequency range of 100 to 2,000 hertz. Now, we were talking 2 hertz when we were talking about that thunderquake. 100 to 2,000 hertz. A method of affecting a formation weather system located, okay, same thing. Projecting high decibel sound chords. Said weather system whereby to cause rain to emanate from said weather system. Now I'll make sure I put this in the link. You go through the various patents that go along with it. Everything from a method and a device for the reduction of a tropical cyclone disturbance force, tornado direction network. These guys have issues, man. That's all I gotta say. They have issues. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this link for you guys. Put this in. Exactly, legendary. Tornado Alley. And I mean, everything from starting it, we've already uncovered them seeding clouds to making these storm formations, to controlling them, to strengthening them, to dissipating them whenever they want. They fully have control of weather now. Let's go over and see what the next patent would be. So the next patent is March 2010. Weather-based or weather management using space-based power systems. Now, this is the one that had everything to do with the thunder quakes, controlling lightning, basically. Controlling, the higher up you go, the more control over the overall weather you have. So let's go ahead and check that patent out. Apologies again, gotta type it out. Type that one out wrong. Okay, see what I did wrong. All right, put this up. guys can hear me a little bit better now that I realized my mic was on the computer only. So here we go. Weather management using space-based systems. So let's see. Okay, basically the same thing. All right, so this says to do. This is a space-based powered system and method of altering weather using space-borne energy. The space-based power system maintain proper positioning and alignment of a system components without using correcting structures. Power systems elements are launched into orbit in the free-floating power system. Elements are maintained in proper relative alignment, AG position, orientation, and shape using a controlled system. Energy from a space-based power system is applied to a weather element, such as a hurricane, and alters the weather element to weaken or dissipate the weather element. The weather element can be altered by changing a temperature of a section of the weather element, such as eye of the hurricane, changing airflows, or changing the path of a weather element. So basically what I get from it, even though they like to use those dissipate words, is it's a better way to control it. Less hassle than using the sound waves, so to speak. Let's see what kind of illustrations they got on this one. So basically, this is actually perfect because I'll go ahead and show the next clip after these illustrations because it actually shows exactly how this works. And the next clip I have for you guys. And if you guys aren't sure, everything out here, this is all in space, shooting towards Earth. So these are the mirrors that basically, okay, so I'll give you a rough draft of what's going to happen in the next clip. Basically, there's a company that claims that they're going to use these things to do what it says, but they're going to use these mirrors, I guess. I can't really explain it. I'm happy I got the clip, but it's kind of far-fetched, but at the same time, it can't be too far-fetched if they're throwing patents at it. And there's also a company already contracted for it. See the energy being shot into whatever system. So I'll go ahead and actually it could be interesting. Mature hurricanes can be very powerful. For example, they can generate about 10,000 gigawatts of power, which can cause significant. I'll show you what I'm reading. Can cause significant structural damage. Studies of windstorm damage for the East and Gulf regions of the United States indicate the average economic losses for such a storm can average about $5 billion. The National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration estimates that a hurricane-related damage from 1980 to 2002 is about $84 billion. More recently, studies have estimated that economic losses from Hurricane Katrina exceeded $1 billion. Risk management solutions and which ensure losses ranging from about 10 to 25 billion forecast before levee failure. And those losses from Hurricane Andrew were approximately 44 billion. I to justify why they want to control this stuff. The problem is they've already made it clear, strengthening it, controlling it, it seems to be their most important aspect of it, which is sick. I just want to see what kind of patents they're running with these things. And not so many patents on this one. That's weird because they don't talk about how they get them out there. They're not saying. It seems odd. I can almost see them saying they're going to launch these mirrors up there and then use these laser and direct abilities to do the aiming and everything. So that's that one. I'm going to go ahead and get this link for you guys out there. Go ahead and take a second and say, what's up, Ricky? How you doing, sir? Actually, that was a pretty good video you had. I actually enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. If you guys haven't already, check out Rick's channel. Just came out with a new video. It's pretty cool. Basically, talking about false idols, basically. Let's see what else. Yeah, Ted, it is business. It's actually really sickening how they've made it such a business for themselves. Let me go ahead and find that clip so what I just showed you guys can make a little bit more sense. And this one's going to run probably about another 3 minutes. But this is basically describing what we just went over with the space-based. Oh, wait, time out. Let me go ahead and acknowledge my man's in the building. What up, sir? Let me get you you're lucky you're saying it right now because I'm still trying to get you shown to the. There you go. Now you're on. How you been, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's everybody doing out there?
Yes, so far.
How you been, brother?
I've been pretty good, man. Despite having to find all this crazy ass shit nonstop for the past week.
Mm-hmm.
We went over basically the patent for the hurricane and tornado control.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the patents in the chat. I'll go over them again too, just as a recap once we do this. We just got done. I'm not sure if you were here when we went over the patent for the space-based control of weather.
Was that today or yesterday?
No, just like literally just now.
Oh yeah,
I didn't.
nah, I didn't catch that.
I'm going to show a clip right now. It's about a 3-minute clip, uh, basically describing and talking about the patent we just went over.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah, so you're not really missing too much on this part. But just real quick, like I said, it's about 2-3 minutes.
All right.
Try my speaker on correctly.
Solarin.
Oh, see, already sidetracked myself. Forgot to share. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Company, and let's read about them first.
Make sure you guys get a chance to hear the name.
I brought to your attention this company called Solarin. Solarin Company, and let's read about them for a sec. Here you see sun-based mirrors to direct laser energy onto what they call a round ball Earth. The DoD projects the demand for electricity will grow by 33%, U.S. 100% worldwide. Baseload will continue to provide the vast majority of electricity generation, but their mission is to create and deliver cost-competitive space electricity, provide clean power, flat Earth, high reliability electricity generation for our customers, and outstanding returns for investor relations. Design, develop, launch, and operate the world's first space solar power plants. Deliver environmentally safe and clean SSP-generated electricity 24/7 at prices competitive with coal, natural gas, and nuclear generation. Okay. They're going to build plants with hundreds of gigawatts of clean baseload capacity, significantly improved. Now, I went into another video about this Gary Spernak and the founder and chief executive and his partner, all guys, all from Lockheed and Hughes, all the rest of these military industrial complex quasi-public partnerships with the governments. Okay, but here's what I want to bring your attention to. Well, let's do this first. So the Wikipedia here, it says it's as a startup corporation to utilize solar energy for terrestrial electricity usage. In 2009, it had a contract under negotiation with Pacific Gas and Electric to deliver 200 megawatts of power for 15 years. Starting in 2016, slightly more than California's projected energy. As of 2014, delivery has been moved back to the end of the decade, 2020. Plans to provide the electrical power for PG&E customers from solar panels mounted on satellites placed on Earth's orbit. The satellite would convert this energy into radio waves, RF, and send it to receiving station in Fresno. Plans to provide 200 megawatts of continuous power, estimated the average of 150,000 homes. The project would be the first implementation of space-based solar power. It was first dreamed up in 1941 by Isaac Asimov. Yes, he's the one that helped with making the NASA stuff too, folks. We're all in the same club. And here you can see from an article back in tax day 2009, Solarin Corp to supply California with space-based power. So they've been planning on this for quite a while. Here you see the pictures, the solar panels up in space, the mirrors being used to collect the energy, the RF frequencies, beaming it down to a pad down here. And if you want to see what that looks like, we can go right to here. Let's do it right here. And there you see the design of how it's being beamed down from space down to these solar panels down on the ground. And remember I said about Fresno, world's biggest solar farm planned. That's Fresno gigawatt farm. There's actually much bigger ones now. And you can see here, here's their farms. Here's their solar farms. Here's how they're setting it up to do it. Saying they're making energy for everybody, but in fact, this is for their...
All right. Yeah, so there you have it. It's pretty clear what their plans are for everything. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if they're going to go that route, it's now getting a little dangerous if you ask me. The plasma rings, the lasers, all this stuff. I wonder how much they've actually know what the repercussions of these things are, um, long term wise, obviously.
I don't think they know.
Yeah, I don't think they have a clue, which is actually the freaking scary part about it, because when you really think about it, I mean, what happens when? Because I'm not 100% on it, but it seems to me that they're gonna use these lasers to shoot up to the so-called mirrors, which would obviously project back. What happens when they miss? Then what happens? That's
Oh boy.
yeah. See, it's to me, it's out of control, and I really sat back and I thought, so how much? I mean, realistically, what can anybody do about it? Um, that guy Jim Lee that I listen to, who talks a lot about this stuff, he has it's called a EMOD advised amendment. So I think I've showed you guys what the EMOD is basically back in the 70s. Um, it was basically the way they outlawed weather weather weapons. Um, but clearly they're not on any track to stop doing these things. Is that you in there? Dre?
Can you hear me?
You switch over?
Yeah, it's me. I'm trying to switch over. It's all good.
No, it's not, man. You almost. I had the button on the stop broadcast. All I had to do is let go.
Yeah, I know it's my bad. I'm trying to figure it out, bro. It's me
Um,
though.
I have to let. I probably have to show it to make it work. Oh, I can't see what you're doing. Go ahead and talk real quick. What's up, Accord? All right. I think he's. I'm not sure what. Oh, okay, he had to drop out. Okay. Welcome, Accord. Welcome. Um. Yeah. Basically, we're going through everything. I'm gonna go over the patents we just went over. Um. There's a couple in the chat. I'm not sure if you guys can still get to them, but yeah, we're just been going over the hurricane and tornado patents. We went over a little bit over Earth X. We just went over the space-based weather control, and I'm telling you, I have a lot more. I hope you're sitting comfy right now. There's another patent to go over. It's the method for weather. Let me see, make sure. Okay, cool. It scare me when they come in here. Hang on, I gotta get Dre back up on here. Okay, you're good to go. But yeah, we were just basically talking about hurricanes and this space-based weather control. What else? But like I said, I'm gonna kind of slow it down because otherwise I start rushing through all this crap. Um, which probably a decent time. Do I have you?
Dre, you trying to talk?
No, I had my mic muted. You unmuted.
Okay, hang on. I can hear you, but hang on. Wait,
You can hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you, but it's very, very low. Hang on.
All right, hold on, now,
If
hold
I,
on, hold on, hold
go
on
ahead.
one second. Wait a minute.
Or try your audio.
Can you hear me?
I think it's got to be your side. I have you turned all the way up, and I can barely hear you.
How about now?
Are you on a computer?
Yeah. Is that any better?
Um, I can barely hear you. I have no idea if the chat. Can you guys hear him? Try again.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Or no?
You're very low.
All right. Just I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out sooner or later.
Are you on your phone or you got
Nah. I switched over to a computer, so I'm trying to work it out. You know what I mean?
okay? If you're not using headphones, then
They
check
are.
your mic
They are
settings.
headphones.
Okay, then make sure you're using your headphone setting, or maybe you need the computer setting. Not sure, because for like on mine, I have to be on my headphone settings, otherwise I'll sound distant.
Is that any better?
Actually, a little bit better. And if I turn you up, you'll be good. Go ahead, try it again.
How about that?
They should be able to hear you good now. Let me make sure that you guys can hear Dre now.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good, but I also have my head. I'm using headphones, and can you guys hear Dre?
How about now?
No, you're still low.
Is that better?
Actually, I know it's not because I have you turned all the way up in the settings, and yeah, everyone they're saying I'm loud and you're low.
All right. Let me yeah, just let me mess around a little bit. I'll figure it out sooner or later.
All right, no worries, no worries. So let's see what we have next. The majority of the stuff I have left is mainly clips. Let me go ahead and see which clips I have to show. And we'll go from there. I always find it funny when everyone comes into a chat and says someone went live. That's what the alerts are for. But thank you. I do appreciate you coming to my live stream to let everyone know. Let me see where I got left over here. Try to figure this out. Okay, so the next clip is the Hurricane Harvey stuff. Make sure it's right. Okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and start this clip. This is back with EarthX. More they'll go over the Hurricane Harvey stuff. I don't want to miss any of it. But I know there's a bunch of stuff in here that's pointless to hear. Okay, here we go. So this is gonna be via EarthX 2017. I think they're gonna be talking a little bit over Hurricane Harvey and whatnot. So let me go ahead and share that before I start it.
Cascading failures.
Is it any better now?
My apologies. There we
So
go.
this is from the
Can you hear me?
EarthX website, EIS Council. Their highlights for disrupted scenarios. EarthX simulates a subcontinent scale, long duration power outage, cascading failures of all other infrastructures. All other infrastructure. The exercise format offers executive and senior level operation decision makers the opportunity to review critical decision making, essential to success of all response and recovery operations. Goes on to list the different events that they were hosting. So if we go through their overview from August 23rd, right as the hurricane or flood Harvey was starting, emergency all sector response transnational hazard exercise was going on. Here's the space-based system they're talking about, or the high altitude, whichever way you want to refer it. And this is the grid they're putting over us to establish their world power base from space. So here we get into the mission is designed to improve community resilience to large-scale, long-duration power outages through multiple exercises. Okay, so here's the grid for the United States. Look at the power grid over. Concerns have grown over the potential for severe, malicious, or natural black sky hazards associated with subcontinent scale long duration power outages with cascading failure of all other increasingly interdependent infrastructures. This creates a grim and difficult dilemma. Restoration of any sector will only be possible in operation of all the others. To deal with this deadlock, careful sector by sector and cross-sector resilience planning is crucial. However, such plans to be effective must be exercised. The diversity and national and global scale of infrastructures now depend on. This requires unprecedented multi-sector national and international exercise series. But notice how they're focusing on the U.S. only. Hosted by EIS Council as part of EPRO Resource Families. These annual multi-sector international exercise migration support, preparedness response, and recovery plans for. We're going to get into the man-made hazards they talk about here. Before we get into that, look at the map they chose to use. And they had it states to make it work like that. And I want to get into this right up. This is the stuff.
Can you guys hear me? I hope so. Test, test, test. God damn it. All right. Yeah, basically just. All right, cool. Yeah, hang on. It basically just wiped everything off. I lost all the. Oh, fuck. All right, we're just going to go without that. No, it was. No, Billy, it was definitely me. My Hangout just crashed and the chat crashed. Everything crashed. I'm trying to get everything set back up. Well, luckily that was pretty much the last of that video I was going to show you guys. There's another video, but let me make sure all this stuff is going to stay up before I try to play it again. Man, that sucked. Did you guys get a good part of that video? Up until I believe it. Let me see where it left off at. To the natural hazards. Did you guys see that? The black skies, natural hazards, and everything. Let me see. Okay, so I see where you guys are at. Let me see if there's any more of this video. All right. I don't. Okay, so this is gonna be the last of this video. Let me see if I have the other one where I can get to it. Okay, so the next video I'll go ahead and play is basically talking about how they cloud seeded oh, that was pretty fucking loud. Okay, so this one's gonna be how they seeded and basically what they did with Hurricane Harvey. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and get this going real quick. And then basically after this, I do this video. What I'll do is I'll do a recap for anyone that missed anything. So that way everyone gets to see the same amount. In the meantime, let's see if I can get Dre back in.
Devastating Hurricane Harvey seemed to come from nowhere, putting an abrupt end to the perplexing 12-year-long hurricane drought in the continental U.S. No major hurricane landfalls have occurred in the U.S. for 12 long years, while the rest of the world has been decimated by cyclone after cyclone. Hurricane Sandy was not a major hurricane, though it caused major damage. How many remember the scenario with Hurricane Sandy? Miraculously, weather forecasters somehow knew 7 days in advance that Hurricane Sandy would make an unprecedented 90-degree westerly turn exactly where it did. Climate engineering is not just a dangerous proposal. It's long since been a lethal reality for some 70-plus years. As Harvey was making landfall, the radio frequency microwave transmissions being used by the weather makers to manipulate Harvey were undeniable. Microwave transmission sources near Brownsville, Texas kept Harvey in check from the south. The Brownsville transmitter was completely energized as Harvey was guided on shore. Transmitter facilities in San Antonio, Texas helped to ensure Harvey would not advance to the north, in addition to scattering and dispersing any and all moisture that did make it that far. The bottom line, powerful frequency transmissions kept Harvey from migrating further inland and breaking up. So again, how did forecasters know so far in advance that Harvey would park itself in Texas and stay there for days due to pressure zones locking Harvey in place? Because the forecasters are reading a script of the scheduled weather given to them by geoengineering contractors like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. Raytheon does all the forecast mapping for the National Weather Service, NWS, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Lockheed Martin does the same type of modeling for the FAA. We have the Foxes running the hen house, private defense contractors doing all the modeling for government agencies. The forecast track and behavior for Harvey was beyond unprecedented. Again, how could forecasters know so far in advance? Because Harvey's behavior was not an act of nature. It was manipulation with patented climate engineering technologies. The bizarre track of Hurricane Harvey is a glaring red flag to signal climate engineering, geoengineering operations. Why is the climate science community silent about this? The illegal federal gag order on all National Weather Service and all NOAA employees is the answer. The gag order is on top of the fact that government scientists have no First Amendment rights to begin with. Why would our government and others create such weather disasters in our own country? This is where dichotomous this or that thinking must be abandoned. There's many agendas being carried out at this dark hour in human history. This fact must always be considered and remembered. Solar radiation management is one primary stated objective of climate engineering. The combination satellite radar map shown here is very revealing. Massive atmospheric aerosol dispersions in conjunction with radio frequency microwave transmission grids are used to broadcast the atmospheric moisture created by Harvey into the widest possible region of cloud cover. The brighter the white of the cloud cover shown in the combination map here, the more heavily aerosolized it is. The expansive rainless canopied area surrounding Harvey as it made landfall is immense. The convective zones of precipitation around Florida are also being heavily sprayed with climate engineering aerosols. How will Hurricane Harvey impact temperatures in the U.S.? How will this massive atmospheric pump help to cool the most populated zones of the U.S.? The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration departure from normal high temperature map forecast map shown here for September 4th to September 10th is revealing. The extreme temperature imbalances shown are meteorologically and historically unprecedented prior to the recent years in which global climate engineering operations have been an increasingly major influence. Geoengineering programs and processes are completely derailing all of Earth's climate and life support systems. The NOAA map, again, is shocking. Above normal, precipitation is forecast or scheduled to continue over the eastern U.S. Chemical ice nucleation for weather modification processes will continue to be a factor in the ongoing engineered cool-down zones shown in shades of blue on this map. High temperatures in the ionosphere heater-induced high-pressure zones over the U.S. West will continue to extend the record-shattering, brutal heat waves there. The dangerous and environmentally decimating heat, UV radiation, and flash drought are not being reported by official sources, corporate media, or most independent or alternative media sources. Harvey has provided a convenient distraction from the planetary meltdown that's unfolding on our once thriving planet. How dire and immediate is the threat from biosphere implosion? It's far worse than almost any yet understand. How anomalous is the eastern U.S. cool-down zones from a global perspective? The global temperature departure from average map is very revealing. The other current focus zones for massive climate engineering chemical ice nucleation cooldowns are China and the polar regions. This is especially true for Antarctica, where the geoengineers are in damage control mode after the massive Larsen C ice shelf collapse. How dire is the ice meltdown in the polar regions of the planet? 2017 has brought both poles to ice extent levels, a fact that the climate engineers will try to hide from the public until the last possible moment. Unfortunately, much of the public is still all too happy to hide from unpleasant and dire realities in regard to the true state of the climate and of climate engineering. On that note, The following 2 points must be considered. First, there can be no legitimate discussion about the state of the climate without first and foremost including the climate engineering factor. Second, there can be no legitimate discussion of climate engineering or geoengineering without acknowledging the patented chemical ice nucleation processes and the engineered cooldowns these processes help to generate. The Chinese government openly admitted to this process of weather modification, and popular science covered it. Climate engineering can create short-term, highly toxic cooldowns at the cost of a worsened overall planetary warming. And what does all this have to do with Hurricane Harvey? A great deal. By constantly engineering cool-down zones over the most populated regions of the U.S., weathermakers are able to continue fueling growing confusion, division, and conflict in regard to the true state of the climate and of the climate engineering reality. The massive amount of moisture being pumped into the atmosphere by Harvey is an essential component in the ongoing engineered cooldowns being carried out, again, in the most populated portions of the U.S. The next radio frequency microwave transmission was recorded in Shreveport, Louisiana, almost 2 days after Harvey made landfall. As moisture tried to migrate north, it's being held back and or scattered by the transmissions. The manipulation of Harvey from the Shreveport transmission facility and numerous others was relentless, as this even more recent animation of the Shreveport transmissions reveals. Wave after wave of migrating atmospheric moisture is held back and in place. Powerful radio frequency transmissions. As Harvey tried to drift to the east, still more ground-based radio frequency microwave transmission facilities pushed back, like this one in Lake Charles, Louisiana. What are the other possible agendas being carried out in relation to the manipulation of Hurricane Harvey? The ongoing cyclone suppression in the Atlantic Basin and the Gulf of Mexico has contributed to ocean stratification and thus dead zones. Countless cyclones have tried to form in the Atlantic Basin over the last 12 years. They have been blown apart or directed out to sea by climate engineers. For those who think that this is a good thing, consider this. If the manipulation with Earth's life support systems kills the oceans, we die. If the oceans die, we die. Something to remember. The largest ocean dead zone ever recorded is unfolding right now in the exact region where Harvey is meandering. And this point also must be considered. All available data indicates that there's a growing sea of oil sitting on the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, much of it from the BP Macondo oil well blowout that a now deceased global expert on the subject said was never actually sealed. This recognized global expert also stated that the seafloor around the Macondo well was fractured and thus leaking crude oil into the sea, and that it had never been sealed and it could never be sealed. He went on to state that the illegal chemical Corexit was still being used at the wellhead to keep the oil from surfacing, to keep the public aware of what was happening on the seafloor. Matt Simmons, who was this expert, was found dead after a CNN interview, dead in his pool several days after that interview, in which he made disclosures that those in power did not want known. Though Harvey is churning up sea surfaces, the fact that this hurricane is being kept largely on or near land means that deeper ocean mixing is not occurring. The oil-soaked seafloor of the Gulf will remain largely under. And there's many other potential factors to consider. Geopolitical, global oil prices due to the now offline oil production in Texas, for example. Weather trading derivatives, etc. Many more other potential agendas, but there are much more dire considerations than those already mentioned. The intentional disruption of populations that can no longer be fully supported by industrialized by society. Systems are breaking down by the day. Those in power are absolutely aware of this fact, though their incurable obsession for total control compels them to continue their reign of destruction and decimation. How clear does the message from the global elite need to be before the masses are willing to face what is unfolding being done to them? Climate engineering is nothing short of weather and biological warfare. It's the greatest threat we face, short of nuclear cataclysm. If we are to have any chance whatsoever of exposing and halting the climate engineering insanity, credibility is key. Credible conclusions backed up by credible data. This will help us to form alliances with the climate science communities, the military, and other agencies by standing on credible, verifiable, factual data. We must all make our voices heard in this epic battle for the greater good. Time is not on our side. This is Dane Wigginton with geoengineeringwatch.org.
I mean, it realistically doesn't get as real as that. I don't even know what to say. You should be good to go there, Dre.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Nope. Still low.
I don't know, man.
I can barely hear you, so I know they can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure something. Does that help any?
Nope. Yeah, it's still really low. Are you using a headset with a microphone?
Yeah.
And are your settings to the headset? Or I know what it is. Go up to the top of this Hangout to the gear, the little gear wrench settings, and make sure that's set to your headphones.
Yeah, see, when I click on that little gear, it just gives me enable auto load, mute notifications, and load something.
To the gear.
Yeah, that's inside the Hangout toolbox though. Let me check this other one. Okay, this is where I was trying to get back to. Now I'm looking at default and default, but my choices are default communications and microphone real audio. I just picked the microphone Realtek audio. Is it any better?
I can't. Whatever you just did went lower.
Okay, so that doesn't work. How's that?
No, you're still low.
Okay, so how's still the same?
Yeah. What happens if you're not using your headset? What does it sound like?
I have no idea. You hear me?
Yeah, it's still just as low.
Pull the earphones, so it don't make much of a difference. So something else.
All right. Well, if you change anything, just talk quiet because I have you turned all the way up.
All right, yeah, I don't even see my little thing jumping up and down. So whatever it is, it ain't right.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know what else to do.
That's cool. I'll try to figure it out. If I'll just go back to clean like I've been.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Make sure make sure you let me know if you do. Like I said, I got you turned so far up that if your mic does go correct, it is going to kill me. What is it? Yeah. So, what's up, Origin? So, thank you for coming. So, I guess what I'll do now is I'll go over that those patents again, so you guys can see what we went over earlier. Let me see if I can find them back. All right, pull my other link up. So we went over. I'll go ahead and pull up those patents real quick. So you guys, everyone can get a good see on them. So first patent we're going to go back over again is a hurricane and tornado device. And for those of you who didn't know, I have to type them all in, so give me 1 second. Go ahead and share. So this is the hurricane and tornado control device, the patent for it. Go over it again. Method to disclose for affecting the formation and or direction of a low atmospheric weather system. Audio generators are positioned to project sound waves towards a peripheral, I hate that damn word, area of a weather system. The sound waves are generated at a frequency to affect the formation of the weather system in a manner to disrupt, enhance, or direct formation. So we'll go over illustrations so you guys can see exactly what they were saying. Obviously, so on both waves directing the tornadoes / hurricane, showing this. It's showing how using the sound waves can direct it to actually make the formation of a tornado and or a hurricane. Showing with sound waves how to steer both directions, how to centralize it and strengthen it, and also with the sound waves how to make it actually start raining. That's where I saw that. Oh, so Dre, you were there for it. Yesterday when we went over, or the other day when we went over the thunder or the lightning thunderquakes. There you go. The thunderquakes. We were talking about it sending off a 2 megahertz or 2 hertz or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it had method according to claim, where said sound waves are projected at a frequency to 2,000 hertz.
That might kill somebody.
Yeah. So it says, including steps to projecting sound waves at a frequency range between 1,000 to 1,000 F, or I guess that'd be 2,000 FP or frequency waves.
Is that any better?
I can hear you a little bit better, but you're still turned up. So, can you guys hear him in the chat?
I just found another volume button. That joint turned all the way up.
You actually just got a little louder. So,
Yeah, it's better.
yeah, I can hear you perfectly now. Can you guys hear Dre in the chat?
Yeah, can y'all hear me in the chat? Maybe, possibly.
They're saying you're low. Let me make sure your settings are high. They can barely hear you. How to turn your guys' volumes up, and I'm gonna turn my mic down so that way I'm not blasting you out so you can hear him.
No, it ain't you. It's me. Whatever it is, it's on my end.
Whoa! Whatever you just did, it just blew my ears out.
Oh,
Talk.
it did? My bad.
Yeah, you're right there. Don't do anything else. You're good now. Whatever you just did.
Sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I I went from all the way up to now you're all the way down.
And it still sounds pretty decent.
Oh, you're perfect now. You're definitely good now.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It works. Okay.
Funny part is I'm not too sure. But... All right, I'm good.
All right, what was I looking at? Oh yeah, we were also looking over all the patents that go along. These are more the inventors, I guess you would say, of these things, or when they were using them. I mean, they got stuff for the evolution of our tornadic storms in 1965.
I wonder what they really what are they really up to?
I think it's more about the weaponry of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering what they're ultimately up to. Like, what do they plan on really doing? You know.
Well, in the early, like I said, Vietnam, they used it as a weapon against the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they did was they made it rain for days, and then at one point they made it scorching hot, and that was actually what made when they decided that it was unfair or whatnot. But that's when they made the E-mod in 1974, because of Vietnam.
E-mod, what's that?
The E-mod is an act that states that no country is allowed to use weather modifying as a weapon.
Okay. Never heard. Never.
Yeah, it's actually. Let me go ahead and pull that up.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then of course, you know, they use the napalm.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're using that as a weather.
Well, no, not at all. But yeah, but you know, it was a defoliant, and you figure by the time they got rid of all the cover and whatnot, and then that's when everybody started going into the tunnels, and then boom, they you know what I'm saying, hit them with the major rain.
Yep.
Come out the tunnels, you know.
So, okay, where is it? Okay, so basically the structure of the E-mod. Which one do I want to read? Scope. Okay, so enforced or entry into force October 78 in accordance with the Article 9, pursuant into Article blah blah. Let me see where it says it exactly. Okay, yeah, so this is just talking about why they did it. And 74 U.S. and USSR agreed to hold linear description. Blah, blah, I don't think that's it. Okay, where is it? Basically, okay, structure of the convention contains 10 articles, one annex on the Conservation Committee of Experts. And usually the one I usually read, I find is so much easier to figure out which one's which. Okay, states parties undertake not to engage in military and other hostile uses for environmentally modification technique having widespread, long-lasting, or severe effects as a means of damage or injury to another state party. It is noteworthy that effects to clarify or eliminate the what causes to have widespread effects. Oh, so it's basically just saying, Yeah, see, that's like a loophole in it. Basically, right here it's saying anything that lasts too long. So a rain,
So
a hurricane.
can long.
That's great.
Thing.
Say again?
I said so they can do it, but they can't do it for too long because then it's a
Yeah,
problem.
basically. Yeah, basically, because like I was saying, at the Vietnam War, it rained for days. Let's see if it says how many days it rained for. The problem of artificial modifying.
Probably something crazy like 24 or 25 days or something.
Yeah, see, it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say how long it rained. But I mean, it was enough that the convention was approved by Resolution 3172 by a 9068 vote with 30 absent. Yeah, so basically, it was an overwhelming vote by both countries not to do this, or by the UN nations. So basically, it had to have been pretty damn severe, whatever they did.
Right.
Let me see if I can find out exactly how bad it got shit.
I'm sure it got pretty bad.
Well, you also got to remember, I doubt that was the first time they even knew about it happening. Oh, let me get you guys. What's up, Leslie? Thank you for stopping by. Let me give you guys some, because I know if I actually feel bad, I hadn't looked at the chat in a second. Welcome, welcome.
Still trying to figure that part out.
Okay, Ted says I think it was 10 days. And one night they got a foot of rain.
Wow. A foot of rain in one night. Sounds great. Well, I'll say just get who was it? Was it Puerto Rico or Texas? One of them, they got the equivalent of like a couple feet of rain. Or
Yep.
some storms. Crazy. Imagine if that was snow. 24
Damn.
inches of water. That's 24 inches of water. That would turn into like what, 4 or 6, maybe even 8 feet of snow.
Easy. Yeah, because what was it? Trying to think of where it was. Somewhere had
I think it might be like 1 foot of water turns into like 3 feet of snow or something crazy like that.
Let's find out.
Or it might be 2. A foot of rainwater would be 2 feet of snow. Like that.
Average 13 inches of snow equals 1 inch of rain. So that'd be 12.
Oh,
So, damn, 12 times 13. Ooh, goddamn. Yeah, we're a little off. Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
Scoosh.
Oh, that's so funny. We should not be laughing. I mean, just in the past week of all the shows I've been streaming about all this stuff, I think today was probably the one that was just like, holy crap. You know what I mean? It's like one of those situations where it's like, what do you do? Just so you guys, so here in California, I'm not sure if you guys caught it in the video or not. California has basically sold our electric rights to that company that is doing the space-based solar panels and stuff. So I'm guessing
earlier.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that the bank that California got for that means absolutely nothing to the people saying no. Because I live in California. That video was the first time I've even heard of that. I mean, realistically, what do we do? I mean, at this point, what is it? Lock and loaded and wait? because that seems kind of far-fetched. That little seems like a little bit too late. What I'm gonna do is let me go ahead and do that now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see because I know that guy Jim Lee. He drew up a new EMOD Act that basically would state that everything they're doing would have to be public domain. Not that they would, but enough people signed up to it, it would at least make them accountable for what they're doing now. So I'm gonna let me go ahead and try to find that real quick. Hopefully there'll be something on it that actually matters and we can actually get involved with. Personally, I definitely want to do a one of these weather modifying conferences, I believe at the end of this month. Matter of fact, they'll say, okay, he's going to go to the 21st conference weather modification in January on Austin, Texas. Let me find what I know he's been trying to propose this and get it out there. Let's see where it's at. I know it's somewhere in here. All right, so this is basically his. If you put my stuff out, I would think he'd be pretty okay with how I do it. Where is it? And I definitely appreciate you guys sticking around. And I'm looking for he's drawn up another version of an EMOD, but a very up to one that would basically state that the government has to make what they're doing right now public knowledge.
Sorry.
What are you sorry for? Here it is. Perfect.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
Nope.
Okay, good. Just the echo.
Okay, so I think what he's got so far is just a draft, but it is definitely what's needed. Here it is. Okay, so it's the Environmental Modification Accountability Act of 2018, a draft legislation to end atmospheric experimentation without notification. Let's see what we can do. So basically right now it's just it's what he's written up. It's just an idea. It's so basically what he wants to do is he's actually going to take this to that conference that's coming up in January and put it to the legislation and let them know that this needs to be put into act. It's called the transparent. It's obviously the Accountability Act, asking for transparency, notifying public available international register website 48 hours prior to start of any experimentation, verification, build citizen powered sensor networks. So basically, also when they build these things, he also wants there to be something on the market that tells us when they're doing it as well. So best way I can explain it would be if they're doing something with frequencies, everybody in their home should have a frequency monitor. So we know when that thing starts peaking out that they're actually doing stuff, basically making themselves accountable for it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, odds are that probably be like, the FCC would probably have something to say about that, where they would have some sort of a law that you didn't have the right, kind of like, how you drive through Virginia and you can't use a radar detector, even though they're perfectly legal everywhere else. You know what I mean? I could see them something like we try to start. What they're actually putting out there, and we have every right to monitor what's being broadcast through the airwaves. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine what in their brain makes them think that they don't have to. It's.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This is by far the one time where it's just like, man, this is fucking insane. I don't know if these guys are for us or with us, so I'm not going to comment on them.
Those guys do screen sharing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the guys.
Odds are they're against us.
That are no, I'm pretty sure those are the guys that I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna even say. I don't know, but where is it? Because I now just decided that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I plaster that thing on the back of my hands from now on. So I'm going to steal his picture.
Oh, that right there you're talking about putting back there?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on the back of my until comes time. I don't see why not, right?
They might as well. I can't see nothing. Yeah, whatever. This worse can happen.
I mean, realistically, I mean that's pretty much the. Whenever I was just saying, what can we even do? That's probably the best defense right there.
What do you mean?
As having this emod that he has set up being our best defense against what they're doing.
What you mean?
I mean, for stopping, I highly fucking doubt it. I can guarantee you there's nowhere in hell they're going to stop doing that shit.
No, they're not going to stop. If anything, they're going to ramp it up like they do everything else.
Yeah, exactly. But that's just, to me, it's just crazy. I mean,
and if they do claim to have stopped, they'll just pretty much, bury its ability to be seen or found, and they'll still do it. You know how they get down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got to remember, no matter how they have to do, by legislation, they're not gonna, it's not gonna just suddenly change, and they're not gonna stop doing stupid shit. There's too much money involved.
Yep, too much money and power.
Yeah.
The I think more than anything, at the end of the day, they're more interested in the power. The money's just something that helps them maintain that.
What does if its government is doing this? Imagine what the other countries are doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Then again, some of these other countries seem like they're more up on what's going on than we are. You know, it's a lot of.
Well, see, that's the thing. Yeah, like MK Ultra. MK Ultra was an American media situation. That's why, you know, like Jure. Have you ever heard of that?
What is it?
Al Jure. It's like it's a Russian / Saudi based news organization.
Al Jazeera.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched them a lot. That's pretty much the only ones, really. My biggest worry was because what you had is all this shit came out about CNN and all them lying and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like the YouTube and like the people started making, started reporting what they find and everything. And the scary part is you got to realize, like, what happens if they start, kind of not lying, but bending the truth so it sounds worse almost. And then at that point, who do you listen to?
Yeah, exactly. See, that's like nowadays it's hard to even like how do you ultimately verify the independent sources, like Al Jazeera or what any other, so-called independent news agency for that matter. You ultimately you don't know, but you just gotta kind of like pay attention to what they say and check it out.
Yeah, that was almost exactly what started me on this whole harp and shitty news type stuff. It was like I go watch one thing, then you go watch, for instance, NBC, then you go watch the Fox, and you literally see the same story get bitch slapped and turned around.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of the times they follow the script to the T. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a couple of there's probably a whole crap load of them by now, but there's a couple videos floating around out there where they show you, it'll be like, I don't know, 40 or 50 different news agencies across the country. And literally they're verbatim, word for word, from news agency to news or news station to news station, they're using the same exact words to talk about a specific story. Every now and then somebody will change up one word slightly, but it's still basically the same thing. It's literally a script.
Yeah.
So, and that's because all the media corporations or the media entities, I should say, for the most part, they're all owned by the larger ones.
Yep. Did you get a chance to see the gag order that meteorologists and weather companies are under?
No, I think I heard you talking about it though.
Yeah. So basically, Raytheon. I know you know what Raytheon is.
Mm-hmm.
Raytheon took over the NOAA weather or company.
Wait. Say what?
Yeah. So the big weather company and the NOAA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raytheon owns them now.
Really?
It's Raytheon's now.
How does that happen?
They won the bid. Let me pull that up. Yeah, they won the bid for $300 million. Right after that, they put a gag order.
I was about to say something's up with that.
Yeah, a gag order saying that they can't report. That's why these meteorologists aren't reporting how Hurricane Harvey was so weird. How it did all this weird shit and all these different other storms are odd. That's why you never hear about it. Because they put gag orders on all of them.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't think that they would talk about that stuff anyway in mainstream media unless they were directed to.
They wouldn't. What the gag order was to keep was to protect themselves against whistleblowers.
Right.
I mean, if you listen to them enough, you start hearing it. What was it? The guy, shit, the Hurricane Irene. I figured it out because the guy on some other random place was talking about the patterns of the planes. And then I came across Harp's version of how they seed these things. And then I came around with I found the patterns of those fucking white dots we were all trying to figure out what they were. And it was all basically from what they started. They said something that struck a bell.
Wow. I can't believe Raytheon owns noaa.
Yeah.
I don't even. And it's probably fitting for nowadays, especially like when you consider like Monsanto is the world's largest, like food producer.
And what's worse is no one talks about it.
Yeah, that's the thing that kills me. Everybody, whatever.
No one realize it's like you do realize that not only do they own all the fucking seeds and all the produce, like they own the food sector, period. They're also own the largest private army.
And they make all the,
It's
sad.
Yeah, when you really look at it, everything is owned by a handful of people, and they delegate the power to what they want us to see. Because as far as I'm concerned, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, they're the same. They're the same company as far as I'm concerned. I mean, what other companies are getting these big warhead, missile warheads and big contracts for equipment? Nobody, just them. Lockheed Martin is the ones that are building the technology to do those things.
My bad. Did you hear that?
No, man. You need to keep that
Did
to
you hear
yourself. No.
How about that?
No.
All right, I just want to make sure because I'm trying to figure some stuff out, and I don't want to be making, all kind of crazy noises on the show.
I haven't heard crickets in a while, so I'm kind of worried about them.
Cold outside, boy. Ain't no crickets out there, and even if it was, my black ass wouldn't be out there. Too cold.
Let's see what so Ted said. My chemistry professor worked on them. His exact words were, "They are evil." Yes, they are. Billy says, "I wonder if my local news would watch that video Sean G just posted for us." Hey, if I were you, I'd try. I mean, what that video you just the video from Geoengineering Watch? That's some hard hitting evidence right there. You can't get around it. Those in that video, you'll notice the blue spectrums of that radar. Those are frequency sound. That's the frequency waves. That's not clouds. That's not storm. That's frequency waves. If it was part of the storm, that would mean, and all that humidity, all that hot water was frozen, and that's not how it works. Those are frequency waves, sound waves. I mean, it doesn't get more obvious than that. If I were you, I would. I don't even know how you go about it, because you don't want to go at them like, "Hey, I know what you're fucking doing," but at the same time, you want to get it out there. The best thing you could do, and it sounds
people know.
This may be like 1990s, early 2000-ish, but it worked then. Public television. A lot of people don't realize that. Public television is actually a really good way to get word out. Surprised. I mean, YouTube is huge, but believe it or not, public television gets out to more people. And those are those little college, stations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But and even then, the problem is people are going to be on as a naive as they assume to be, because I got at least 2 or 3 friends that are YouTube that are pretty big names on YouTube. And the second I talk to him about man-made weather, he looks at me like I'm crazy. That cynic guy. And anytime I ever do these shows, he never pops in, ever.
What's his name?
The cynic. You've seen him around a few times. He kind of pops in sometimes. He's been on the panel quite a few times. But I don't know what's up. He hasn't been streaming. He hasn't been on for probably 2 or 3 weeks. Odd. But yeah, I mean, I would say share that video as much as you can. Show anybody you can that's willing to watch it. Really, in the back of my screen on the backdrop, start telling people about this Environmental Modification Accountability Act. That'd be a big one too. Even, I mean, let's keep it real. But the more people that know what's happening, the harder it becomes for them to do it. I guarantee you, if enough people hear about it, they won't be just throwing fucking random hurricanes at people like that. They'll have to figure out a way to hide it a little bit better. Yeah, but it's crazy. It's I mean, the best thing, like I said, the best thing you can do is probably just get it out, tell people about this Accountability Act, and then hope it gets better. As for anything else that I have, as fun as it sounds, I think tomorrow I'm going on my adventure hike to try to see if I can get more pictures of the other area, the direct laser energy side of that area. See what I can get out of that. But I'm gonna go a little bit more prepared. I got a couple recording things for my phone.
I would hold the phone.
Huh?
Did you get something to hold your phone?
Say it one more time.
Did you get something to hold your phone, like the stabilizer or something? Or you don't need it?
Well, tripods and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm thinking also, I want to at least see if I can get that sound that I heard, that weird hum roar.
Still there? You.
You there?
Yeah, I was wondering what happened. I thought it crashed again or something. Okay.
All right.
So they probably heard me talking to myself or something.
Okay. Let me make sure, because that one actually made me kind of nervous. Hang on.
Word. Oh boy.
Okay, so far. Okay, we're good. All right. Yeah, it was just me. I lost the connection. Okay.
All right.
Which is, damn it. All right. Well, like I said, I'm gonna go on my little hike tomorrow, and I ain't gonna lie, that kind of freaked me out because I saw two of me in here.
Yeah, I saw two too, and I just figured it was okay because you disappeared, but it wasn't until you came back.
I don't think anyone. I'm most positive it's just I lost the connection because I can read my password and everything. So, let me see. I realistically, I have really nothing else to say at the moment. I ain't gonna lie, I'm in shock from what I presented to you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna go on my little hike tomorrow. What time is it? Oh, it's still early, isn't it?
I think Sanchez is live streaming right now.
Oh yeah. Let's I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Become one with the people again. Get my mind off this crazy ass world. People, you know how much I appreciate you being here. You know that I only do it for you guys because realistically, if I was doing it for just myself, I'd be the crazy guy in the corner. So, like I said, I do appreciate it a lot. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but hey, I could go on a little bit. I don't know. It would depend on how long Bro Sanchez goes on. If I do go back on, it will not be about this crap. It will be something else just to get my mind off of it. But like I said, I'm not done. Not done by a long shot, and I'm not going to let anything pass me that I can let pass me. Like I said, I'm just going to give it a hiatus for the rest of the night, stream wise. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to get up there and do that, and be back on it again tomorrow. Because whatever I get or whatever happens, I'm gonna get on here and let you guys know what I found. Realistically, right now, I'm kind of just bantering just so I can find something to fucking play myself out. Let me see. I only have selected one. I only put so many different. I didn't put anything in my descriptions, so I can't. Yes, thank everybody. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out and head over to Bro Sanchez. I can't find a damn thing to play. Every time I put videos in here, I just can't. All right, sir.
Yeah, I'll catch you on the other side, bro.
Yep.
Chat.
Just in time because I found something. So again, thank you guys. I'll see you guys around. If I go live again, it will be just a bullshit banter. Share those videos. My brain's all mixed. ClimateViewer.org. You can find that EMOD, the EMOD, Accountability Act. I would love it if you guys went and found that and plastered it everywhere, talked about it. So to me personally, it seems to be a really big deal, and it's pretty much the main thing I'm going to go ahead and focus on for now. So, like I said, thank you for coming. Love y'all. Done talking.